All right, let's dive into something that feels like it's been pulled straight out of science fiction. One company, Linkspreed, is trying to build a single, universal digital ID for every single person, everywhere. Let's see what that future could actually look like.
So this is the big pitch, right? One ID, all worlds. Just four little words, but they lay out this absolutely incredible ambition. A single key to unlock your entire life, not just here on Earth, but maybe one day across the entire solar system. So what does that really mean in practice?
Now seriously, just think about that for a second. Imagine having one identity that lets you unlock your apartment, get on a plane, access your bank account, and yeah, someday, even board a shuttle to a colony on Mars. That's the future this project is shooting for.
So you gotta ask, why propose something so massive? Well, according to the project's founder, it's because our current systems are, to put it mildly, a complete mess. Before we can even think about building an identity for the future, we have to face the problems we have right now.
And here's the guy behind it all, Mark Herdina. His argument is pretty simple. We're all juggling this chaotic patchwork of passports, driver's licenses, and a million different online logins. He sees this whole thing as not just annoying and inefficient, but as a system that's so insecure and broken that it's actually breaking our trust in everything.
And this slide just lays it all out, crystal clear. It puts our current world, fragmented, insecure, full of red tape, right up against the goal for a new world like Mars, a system that's universal, totally forgery-proof, and just works. No friction.
And this right here is the heart of the whole idea. Herdina is basically saying, hey, as we're heading out to new planets, we get a do-over. It's this incredibly rare chance to not repeat all the bureaucratic mistakes we made here on Earth and to build society's digital foundation the right way from the very beginning.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the proposed fix? It's a system they call UID, the Universal Interplanetary Identity. And they're positioning it as the one and only digital key you'll ever need.
Now, the key thing to get here is that UID isn't supposed to be just another app on your phone. The goal is for it to be the one, single, definitive record of who you are. The most important words here are decentralized, which means no single government or company owns your data, and across planets. Because yeah, they're building this for an age of space travel.
So what does this frictionless living actually look like day to day? Well, the source material paints a pretty wild picture. Your UID could do everything from unlocking doors and getting into your bank account to instantly verifying your medical history. And get this, it even talks about a future where it integrates with Neuralinks, literally syncing your digital self with your mind.
Of course, you can't make a promise this massive without some seriously powerful tech to back it up. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this system is actually supposed to work, especially when you're dealing with signals between, different planets.
At the very core of UIID is this idea they call decentralized sovereignty. What that really means is your identity doesn't live on some server owned by a corporation or a government. Instead, it's spread out across a distributed network. Think of it like a shared digital ledger that's basically impossible to tamper with. The whole point is that you and only you are in control of your identity.
But wait, how do you prove something about yourself without just handing over all your personal info? That's where this really clever cryptographic magic called zero-knowledge proofs comes in. This slide gives you the perfect simple example. Say, a system needs to check if you're over 21. Instead of showing an ID with your name and birthday, your UID can just give a cryptographically secure yes. It proves the fact without ever revealing the data itself. Pretty cool, right?
And check this out. The system also has a really smart way to handle privacy. It's a two-layer system. You have one root ID. That's the real you, fully verified and super secure. But for everything you do out in public, you can create as many aliases as you want. They're anonymous, public, and you can just throw them away. So you can be officially verified when you have to be and completely anonymous when you want to be.
Okay, so we've got the problem, we've got the solution, and we've got the tech. But what's the real end game here for Linkspreed? Because it's not just about making things easier on Earth. Oh no, the vision is way, way bigger than that.
And boom, there it is. No beating around the bush. The company's goal is to become the default identity provider for the very first human colonies off-world. They want UID to be the digital foundation that a new society is built on.
I mean, you just got to appreciate the sheer guts of this statement from the founder. He's pretty much saying, hey, Elon, you're building the rockets, the hardware, but we're building the critical software that will actually make Martian society run. That is a very direct and a very public invitation to collaborate.
And in the end, it all comes back to this one promise. They aren't trying to sell you a verification tool. They're selling you empowerment. They're selling you freedom. It's a really powerful message that frames this tech as a tool for personal liberty and a brand new multi-planetary world.
So that leaves us with the one massive question just hanging in the air. Yeah, the system is designed to be decentralized, to put you in control, but it's still being built and offered by a single company. The slide puts it perfectly. One company, all identities. So you have to ask yourself, what could possibly go wrong? It really makes you wonder about the balance of power when one entity holds the keys to everyone's identity, not just on this world, but on the next one too.